Okay, we move on. Next up for us, Indianapolis Colts 3-2-1, 1-1-1 on the road at the Tennessee Titans 3-2, 1-1 at home. Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful. Nashville 71 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 9 miles per hour. Tennessee opening up -2 at -106. That got up to -119 this afternoon. It actually got up to -124 on Sunday night. Wow. So it's come back. It was even at -125 at 9:30 in the morning yesterday. But now sitting at -117. From a totals perspective, this opened up at 42.5, -107 to the over. It's been an 11-cent move to the over at this point. So let's take a look and see if we have cash flow that correlates with all of that. 5,270 tickets in. 45% of the tickets and 58% of the cash on Tennessee and Tannehill. And it's a split with the total. 54% of tickets on the under, but just 50% of the cash is on that under. Colts come in off a 34-27 home win over Jacksonville. Matt Ryan had far and away his best game in the Colts uniform, going 42 of 58 for 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He broke the franchise's single-game record for completions and moved on into 7th on the NFL's career passing list. Michael Pittman Jr. caught 13 passes for 134 yards. With Jonathan Taylor out with an ankle injury, Nyheim Hines out with a concussion, Deion Jackson was excellent. He was excellent. Ran 12 times for 42 yards, touchdown, caught 10 passes for 79 yards. Now, both Taylor and Hines could return this week. Taylor practiced last week, and Hines is still in concussion protocol. Paris Campbell and Alex Pierce also caught TD passes. The defense was again missing Shaquille Leonard, but did enough to get the win. But their rush defense got gashed, 243 yards. They came in allowing just 96.6 per game. And Bobby Okereke, 13 tackles, and the Colts had 4 sacks and 4 quarterback hits. The Titans coming off their bye week. They were last seen winning their 3rd straight game of the year, 21-17 at the Commanders. Since 2017, they're 5-0 straight up off the bye, and they're 3-2 against the spread off of a bye. In week 4, they went into Indianapolis and beat them 24-17. They don't get in the red zone very often, but when they do, they're a league best 10 of 11. Derrick Henry does not look the same this year. I'm wondering if maybe that changes a bit coming off of the bye. The Titans are 21st in rush yards per game. Henry is averaging 81.6 per game, and his 3.9 yards per carry is his lowest since entering the league. 3 starters were inactive against the Commanders. Zach Cunningham, Bud Dupree, actually 4 because I added Bud Dupree, Armani Hooker, and Nate Davis. And we didn't get an update on the Zach Cunningham situation, but Dupree, Hooker, and Nate Davis are all expected to return. Do the Titans – is this a nice spot to fade the Colts to after they looked pretty good against the Jags? Take it away for us, Andy, Titans-Colts.
Yeah, this is another one. The Colts' schedule is weird. This is their second rematch game of the year already. Like, they're just getting all their division games out of the way, apparently, right away. But look at what the line is here and what the line was in the last one. It is a big adjustment. Home field is no longer worth 3 points. It's worth about 4% on the on the spread. So from one game to the other game, if you're a home and home, it should move like 8%. It's moved a lot more than that. The fact that it went from like a 3.5-4 for the Colts to Tennessee -2.5 at home is big. I'd love to take the divisional dog here. I think Derrick Henry, the way to get him going and the way I've seen it is getting him involved in the passing game. That's been successful. I'm not sure why they don't just lean into that. That's great. And then, what we saw from this Colts defense against, it's not like he wasn't a big name in college and there was a lot of hope, but it's not like Travis Etienne has been, a top 5 running back in the league. For him to knock off 8 yards a carry, and then basically every other time they handed the ball to anyone, Robinson, 12 for 54, like you said, they averaged 7+ yards per rush and it wasn't, they only ran the ball 15 times. No, they ran the ball 33 times. It's a big enough sample. Granted, one or two brought the average up quite a bit from Etienne and Hasty, but man, they really ran the ball well. That makes me super nervous for the Colts as a dog, as a teaser leg in this one. you could use this as a teaser leg. It's kind of in that zone, but yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to see a game like this from Matt Ryan. Like, what tells you that was repeatable? We've seen that one time this whole year where Matt Ryan has just looked horrible the rest of the games. I don't think him throwing the ball 58 times is sustainable in any of these matchups. So I'd love to back the Colts here because I think this adjustment's too big, but I don't see how this rush defense holds up to what Tennessee's going to bring. And Tennessee's been maybe, a little higher than I thought they would be as far as their offense. I was going to be down on this team. I'm trying to look where I have them right now. It is still, middle-ish of the pack, but I was leaning towards this team falling off based on, hey, you didn't replace A.J. Brown. You have a running back who's older now and he's hurt. I've been pleasantly surprised. I think this is a middle-of-the-pack team rather than where they were headed, and this number's pretty close to where I'd have it. I do lean under. I know there's a couple people saying that in the chat as well. Tennessee, but like the Tennessee regression in the red zone doesn't feel like this week is going to be it if they get there. Indianapolis isn't good in the red zone. As far as this year goes, they're giving it up at like a 65% rate. Yeah, they're 24th in the league in opponent red zone scoring percentage. So it's not maybe a great week for that trend to buck right now. So I'm scared off the under because of that, and I'm scared off the Colts because of the Colts rush defense right now.
I want to fade what I saw. I was on the Colts -2, and I want to bet against them. I think everybody saw that, like you said, a game that's going to be extremely difficult for Matt Ryan to deliver a second time. And the Tennessee coming off the bye. So is Mac Beaver saying very tough to beat the same team twice in a year, not to mention twice in 1 month? Is that enough for me not to move on this? Because personally, I think the Titans take care of business. That was the Colts at home. Let's get them outdoors on the road. And the Titans are a rested, better football team. I can't count on Shaquille Leonard being out there. Spenny saying that Leonard's still dealing with a broken nose and concussion. He had surgery on his nose. I thought he was going to be out there last week. And look what – I think you nailed it when you talked about 243 yards. And I know that the Hasty had one run for 61 yards or whatever, but still, I mean, they got gashed. And are you worried about the team? Do you get concerned when a team meets the opposition again 3 weeks later after beating them in their barn?
Not really. And I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I should get on the old database and see how often do divisional teams sweep compared to split during the year? Because there's there's 3 outcomes, I suppose. You either split sweep or the other team sweeps, unless you want to throw ties in, which the Colts have been determined to gather a tie here and there. But no, I don't really worry about that. I know that the level of certainty you have, or the level of familiarity is the word I'm looking for with these divisional teams, is higher. So they tend to be closer. You tend to be able to take advantage of some of these divisional dogs. But divisional dog on the road with a run defense looking like it's looking versus a team that tends to want to run the ball, and if Henry's chunking along, things are going to be just fine. And they're coming off a bye. It's probably the opposite for me. It's Titans or pass right now, and I'm not the kind of guy who loves betting the Titans.
I want them badly here. I want them badly. I'd love to. I guess I might have to get on the phone with Birdie and discuss what he likes about the Colts here. I want to take advantage of what everybody saw last week. I do not expect that to happen again. And if they do get Cunningham back, I mean, that's huge because we know that Dupree and Amani Hooker will be back. I mean, that's a big help to this team. Yeah. I want them. I want them. So I'm Titans, Colts under. Maybe I bet them both. I'll figure that out tonight after the show. But I'm very, very interested in backing the Titans here and fading what we saw last week or just 2 days ago. Sky Dragons is like the Colts more. Spenny leaning Colts. Maybe I need more time with this because there's a bunch of you guys saying that. Sky Dragon saying net yards per play, Tennessee a league worst, minus 1.4. Okay.
Yeah, and some early in the season, I hate some of that too. I mean, he's right. They are bad, but a lot of that is derived from getting out. I believe it was like a 250-yard difference in the Bills game where they didn't have that many more plays. So sometimes you get the shit beat out of you once, and those numbers are skewed. But even if you try to church that up a little, Tennessee hasn't been great, even in their wins. Like, you didn't beat Washington by much. You lost to the Giants early. They haven't looked good. The Colts game wasn't great. The Raiders game wasn't great. Like, the only thing they have going for them is the matchup against the run defense and the fact they're off a bye. I went into this game saying, like, I'm probably going to be looking at the Colts here, and I ended up looking the other way. So usually that's a hard pass for me.
Understandable. I guess I'm concerned that you guys. I guess I need to leave this
Yeah,
alone.
and Sky Dragon points out too the Washington game. Like, Washington put a lot of yards on him too. They just such a shitty team they didn't finish.
Birdie saying Andy talked about it for me. This line is adjusted too much, especially given these games being so close together. It took a big swing. Okay, all right. I'll stay off at this point then and sit with it for a little longer.